Yeah, that's how we put our mics in Chicago. Not towards the comedians. Chicago. We're running out of things to be proud about. We lay it down like this. All right, guys. We are about to bring up the last comedian of the night. So what that means is this is your last opportunity to go absolutely ape shit with the applause and the roaring and all that kind of stuff. So, right, what if they're not? The expectation is still that you guys are going to support them, though. Come on. So what we're going to do is we're going to build up that energy before I bring this next comedian up. And how we're going to do that. Ladies and gentlemen, first, give a round of applause to anybody who was on the wait staff tonight that helped you out. Big round of applause to them. All right, keep it going. We're going to keep going. Big round of applause for Flappers for putting everything on. All right. Big round of applause for yourselves for coming out and being awesome tonight so far. All right. Oh, you guys are good. Come on. All right, one big last cheer as I bring up our final comedian for tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, RichardMyers.
Good evening. I'm so glad you're still here. I want to talk to you about some challenges we faced growing up and some discoveries I've made along the way. And also, because I've written a couple of books of poetry, I'll share just a couple of poems with you. But first, I have to tell you what happened to me today. It was a terrible day, terrible morning. I had to make a quick round trip up to San Francisco and back. I got to the airport and got to security. I already had my ticket, my boarding pass, and so I went. I know how security works. You know, you put everything in the baskets, and if you have any money, you hold it in your hand. And then, because I have a hip replacement, I have to go through this little booth. Because I have some metal in my hip. You go in and you put your feet in some printed footprints. And then you put your hands above your head, and they scan you, and you're on your way. So I did that. I put my feet in the footprints, put my hands above my head, and I hear this voice say, "Sir, please put your belt in the basket." Now, I have to tell you that in August, I had open heart surgery. And I'm fine now. It's okay. But I lost a lot of weight, and so the only thing holding my pants up was that belt. I put it in the basket, and I walked back to the booth, and I put my feet in the booth, and I put my hand up, and the boy said, "Sir, please put both hands above your head." And I looked at him, I said, "Look, if I put both my hands above my head, my pants are going to fall down." He said, "Sir, please put both of your hands above your head." So I did. And my pants fell down. He said, "Sir, pick up your pants." He said, "Sir, now carefully, would you please put both of your hands above your head?" So I thought for a moment, well, maybe if I take a deep breath, stick my stomach way out, lean way back, maybe my pants will stay up. So I did that, put my hands above my head, and my pants fell down. He said, "Sir, please pick up your pants." I picked up my pants. He said, "Sir, I don't know how we're going to do this, but you need to have both of your hands above your head." I thought for a moment, then I had an idea. I pulled up one pant leg, raised that's going to be hard, raise my foot up, raise my hand. Do it now. He says, "Sir, please put both feet in the footprint." I said, "Wait a minute." I said, "Let me get this straight. If I have my feet in the footprints and my hands above my head, you'll scan it." He said, "That's right, sir." I said, "Okay, just a minute." And I pulled both my pants up. I got way down. I put my hands up. And I said, "Scan it now." And he did, and he said, "Okay, sir, you can leave." I want to tell you, the most embarrassing thing, I was so upset, I had to take 2 significant pills, and I'm just now leveling off. Now, about those challenges, The first challenge is one I really enjoyed, and that was riding a two-wheel bicycle without training wheels. You probably remember your first bicycle. I remember I'd be pedaling and pedaling, and my dad would be running alongside holding the fender, helping me keep my balance, and then he'd let go, and I'd be on my own, and it was wonderful, thrilling, exciting, fantastic. There was a lot of crashes and smashes. I was a one-man destruction derby, but I loved it, and bicycle riding became my absolute favorite activity. I was about 9. And then a few years later, I discovered that girls were different than boys. Probably was the boobs. And I thought I should have a girlfriend. And so I got one. It was a challenge, but I got one. Her name was Mary Ann. She had pretty red hair, blue eyes, and we did all kinds of things together. We went horseback riding, we went fishing, we went hiking, we climbed trees, we played baseball. She was great. I really liked Mary Ann, but not as much as my bicycle. But she was great, and she taught me something. She taught me that girls are much more concerned about how they look than boys are. I remember one day we were going to a birthday party. She came out of her house wearing a pretty pink dress, and she looked at me and she said, "Richard, does this dress make me look fat?" Well, I was only 12, and I recognized instantly that question was loaded with danger. So I said, "No, you look great," and we went to the party. Everything was okay. Here's a poem I think you might appreciate. It's called Foolish Frank's Pain. And Foolish Frank's a character in both of my books, but this is about his pain. And it goes like this. He pressed his finger to his cheek and felt a lot of pain. He pressed his finger to his neck and felt the pain again. There must be something very wrong, is what poor Frankie thought. He pressed his finger to his chest, and again a pain was brought. He went straight off to the doctor, for he was not one to linger, and sure enough, the doctor said, "You've got a broken finger." Now, the next challenge was the most frightening challenge I've ever faced. Even to this day, the French kiss. I was supposed to kiss my girlfriend and put my tongue in her mouth. And I knew she was going to bite my tongue, and I'd have to go to the doctor with a bloody tongue and explain it to my parents. But it was something you just had to try. It was like a rite of passage. And I'm happy to report I made it through, and I didn't get my tongue bit. I was about 15. And then about a year or two after that, I made the most awesome discovery, life-changing, sex, orgasms. Wow! I have to tell you, bicycle riding was no longer my favorite activity. And not only that, about a year later, I discovered that it was even better when you had a partner. But the Korean War came along, and I went in the service. That was a challenge. Went to college. That was a challenge. Became a teacher. That's a challenge every day. And then I got married. That's a lifelong challenge. And every poet has to write at least one poem about love. And I wrote one. It was called My Love, and it went like this. She makes the night seem like the day. She knows exactly what to say to help me out when I'm in doubt. She never shows a frown or pout. She is the sunshine of my life. She is my next-door neighbor's wife. Well, fortunately, my wife had a sense of humor, so I only spent a couple nights on the couch. But then I got really in trouble because one night we were going to a dinner party, and we were late, and I hate being late. And so I'm ready to go, and she's in the dressing room, and come on, dear, it's time to go. We got to get going. I'll be out in a minute. I'm waiting. Come on, dear, let's get going. I'll be out in a minute. Finally, she came out, and she looked at me, and she said, "Richard, does this dress make me look fat?" Well, I was so uptight, I just said, "It's not the dress." I spent many nights on the couch after that. But I told you that I was a teacher. And I was teaching at a little school not far from here. And I was on recess duty. And that's when you go out and make sure the kids are playing and not killing each other. And my partner that day was Mrs. Williams. Anyway, I'm walking around the playground, and I noticed that some child had taken white chalk and on the gray asphalt playground had written F, U, C, T. And I looked at that, and I called Mrs. Williams over. I said, "Look at that, Mrs. Williams. They can't even spell." And I'll never forget this little old lady said to me, "Richard, what's the matter with you? They can spell. Don't you recognize past tense?" But you know, I got transferred to a school on the east side, a Spanish-speaking neighborhood, and I was teaching physical education to all the grade levels. And I don't speak Spanish. So I went to my principal and I said, "Mr. Johnson, I don't think I can do this. I don't speak Spanish." He said, "Don't worry about it, Richard. You'll have a Spanish-speaking aide." I said, "Okay." So my very first class was a kindergarten class. They came out to the playground, and my aide was absent. So somehow I got them in a big circle, and I had a big playground ball, and I was going to roll the ball to them and have it roll back. So I said, "Okay, when the ball comes," no, I said, "Okay, when the pelota comes," I learned one word, pelota means ball. "When the pelota comes, get the pelota." And I rolled the ball, and they did this. So I discovered any time I had to teach a Spanish-speaking class without my Spanish-speaking aide, I was definitely going to be F, U, C, T. I'm Richard Myers. Thank you for coming.
Richard.